Hey guys, what's up? 20,000 subscribers. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And what better way to start celebrating with my absolute favorite video game franchise of all time, Suikoden. Wow, it's been almost 2 years. 2 years since I made my first top 10 best Suikoden games, but in that video I included all Suikoden games of all kind, even the ones that would never release outside Japan. So today I am here to rank the 5 main titles in the series from worst to best. Hence the title of the video, Top 5 Best Suikoden Games. Alright, let's begin! Number 5, Suikoden IV. The black sheep of the family. A game I've stood up for too many times in the past already. It's still a pretty good Suikoden in my opinion, with just 2 things that bother me a little bit. First, the sometimes relentlessly boring and tedious navigation at sea, which can be rather troublesome if you're getting into random encounters quite often. And 2, my party reduced to 4 people during battle. I just couldn't bring myself to love that after every other single Suikoden title had 6. Other than that, I had no issues with anything else. The war battles were now at sea, with ships in between and all, but I somehow found them pretty entertaining as well. Duels were still there, with the same old formula and the same intensity during combat. Story was still great, slightly darker than usual, revolving around the almighty Rune of Punishment. I liked some of the characters a lot here, both good guys and bad guys. So overall, it was a great adventure. Definitely the least better game in the main series, but still quite enjoyable nonetheless. Number 4, Suikoden. As the first game in the series, but not as the first Suikoden I played, I always felt it was a rough start, but with an excellent idea. And by rough, I mean nothing more than my usual complaint about the game being too short. Honestly, even if you recruit all the characters, we're talking about 20 hours max. Aside from that, this game is fantastic, and when I played it for the first time, I was so glad to see the beginning of the series I had already fallen in love with. Oh well, the main character can't run while in dungeons or fields, but that's okay. It was my first time seeing this type of battle system where a bunch of soldiers were battling each other out of control in the war battles, but still with you behind the wheel of strategy. I love that battle mechanic. The duels were something new to me as well, since I had never seen such a system before in any other RPG. They were just great. Last but not least, the turn-based battles in this classic view, selecting each and every one of your actions before the fighting began. It was balanced, it had an amazing story with some tragic perks here and there, and a bit of spice for some plot twists. It might still be the shortest Suikoden ever, but that means jack shit compared to how good it is. Number 3, Suikoden III. I don't know why this game has way more charm than all the others in the series. It doesn't mean it's the best, but I just became really fond of it when I first played it. Actually, this was the very last Suikoden I played since I had beaten all the others before. I knew it was gonna have a kick-ass story from the very beginning, since it is the only Suikoden where you can choose between 3 different protagonists. You still gotta play through all of them eventually, but I will have done so anyway without the game asking. You can also unlock a 4th protagonist halfway through, and I just thought that was fantastic. Chris Lightfellow is one of my absolute favorite heroines ever in a video game. That only made my love for this game grow even more. No silent protagonist now, but you still get a hell of a story, probably the best in the series in my opinion, and the 3 battle systems with different characteristics this time. You select the action of every pair of characters, and not just one. That bothered me a little bit, but I got used to it eventually. Duels are still as fun as ever with this new dual gauge battle at the bottom, and war battles grabbed a bit from their normal turn-based battle system, and I thought that was a little bit lazy, but somehow I got my fun anyway. Suikoden III is a great title, one of the best in the series, and a game full of charisma that everybody should play. Number 2. Suikoden II. It's considered as the best Suikoden ever made, and I can clearly see why, as it was the first in the main series I played and the reason I fell in love with it. However, I still like the fifth one a little bit more, but Suikoden II doesn't stay behind at all, right at its toes. It just did everything right after its amazing predecessor, becoming one of the greatest sequels of all time. Classic story about two friends being torn apart by war, a political conflict incited by different mentalities, and also one of the most legendary antagonists ever in a JRPG, Luca Blight. I like the war battles here better than in the first game, since I felt it was a proper evolution of it now that you had more terrain and strategy options. The duels were still a frequent part of it, and some of them quite challenging, so that only added more to the fun. I felt the turn-based system to be almost identical to the first Suikoden, still amazingly done either way. Gotta love the runes and their elemental virtues during these great battle mechanics. In the end, this game is a masterpiece, a life-changing experience for many, but sadly, one truly expensive in the market nowadays. So, hooray for emulation! Number 1. Suikoden V. Sorry, but in my opinion, Suikoden V is still a slightly better game. Not only for being the epitome of this series, doing almost everything right in every sense. I'm surprised the original creator Yoshitaka Murayama wasn't involved in this. You'd think it would be lackluster without him, but it turned out to be the best. I just felt the adventure more compelling, complete, and satisfactory than all the others, especially since the story is so well written and so well told. It takes a while for it to get to the climax, but that's the reason why you become addicted to it when it does. I absolutely love the war battles here in this real-time strategy mechanic. Your platoons run around the map and fight the enemies when they make contact. It gets a little messy sometimes, but mess can be fun, especially in this game. I felt the turn-based battle mechanics evolved from all its predecessors, now bound by these many formations to plan your strategies accordingly. You still have the power of the runes, the combos, and a solid cast of characters to choose from. Duels didn't evolve that much, but I was glad since I've always loved this mechanic in its purest form. Just like the first game in the series, of course. So in the end, Suikoden V is yet another masterpiece, a great title that everybody should play, and one of my absolute favorite video games ever made. That's it, my friends. Once again, I want to thank you for helping me reach the 20,000 subscribers milestone. There will be a celebrating video this Sunday in 2 days as a big thank you for all of your constant support. And sorry that I didn't put Suikoden 2 in the first place, but I'm sorry. I like Suikoden 5 a little bit more. Nonetheless, they're both great kick-ass games. You guys know that already. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time!